Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you watch any of my other shoe reviews, you know my primary goal is to tell you how well a shoe holds up over 300 miles. That way you know how many miles you're getting for your money. But since I'm always taking notes about how the shoe feels when I first get it so I compare it to the end, we thought it only made sense to start giving our first impressions for these new shoes. So typically near the end of the year, the start of a new year, there aren't too many releases, but we're expecting that even any releases that were planned for the beginning of 2022 are going to get pushed back even further due to supply chain issues. But however, late November, excuse me, 2021, Diadora came out with this Equipe Atomo. This is a brand new line of shoe for them. I had done a previous, matter of fact, my first shoe review ever was a Diadora Mythos Blue Shield Fly Hip. It was, I hadn't worn Diadora before, so I was excited to try that one, but it ended up being a pretty unremarkable shoe. So I was excited when Diadora came out with this brand new line. This is not necessarily, Diadora's not a big name, at least in running here in the US, but neither was Hoka at one point. And I think this shoe and Hoka have a lot of similarities. But before we get into that, let's just cover the basics. This is a neutral running shoe. It's made for road or track running. I say moderate cushioning, but I think it's more moderate high cushioning. It has a 5mm drop. I wear size 12, weighed in at a nice light 10.16 ounces, which is 288 grams. I found it true to size. The cost, it was $195, which to be honest, that's the most I've ever paid for a running shoe. So now, since this is the first of its kind, we don't have previous versions to be able to compare it to. But what Diadora advertises about it is they say this is a standard breathable mesh upper. But then they say the midsole is this DD Anima compound. Which, of course, you know, they say strikes that perfect balance between cushioning, reaction, and weight. I always get a chuckle because every company always, that's what they want to say that they've achieved, is have that perfect goal, and they always choose a different wording to market it. Diadora, well, about the DD Anime stuff, says it favors the foot transition from impact phase to thrust phase. So, what's not to love? The sole is a Duratec 5000 compound, which I'm interested to see how well it holds up, since they state this designed to assure a far higher wear resistance. We shall see. One other item to note, now this is the general edition. They do have a limited edition out there, and if you see that, it's a white shoe, but it has initials GB at the end of it. That's a nod to Galindo Bordin, who was a great Italian marathon runner, and he helped to design this shoe. So first impression, the fit, I have to tell you, I love this shoe. I honestly didn't know how well a shoe could fit me, and especially in the toe box, until I tried this one on. Now, I need to preface all that with saying I have narrow feet, pretty narrow, so if you have a wider foot, this may be a little snug. I definitely suggest you try it on. If you're interested, you need to try it on before purchasing. But if you have narrow feet, you could be in for a real treat with this one. You know, it was the toe box, and really as it transitioned all the way through the midfoot and the heel cup, boy, it was one of the most comfortable shoes, probably the most comfortable running shoe I've ever put on my foot. The only thing I will say, that the tongue seemed a little bit, it was quite well padded, maybe too padded. I'm thinking I'm be interested to see just how well it ends up breathing, throughout the course of these 300 miles. So I've done 2 runs with this shoe and a dog walk. First run was just a 6-mile easy run. The second run was 7 miles at about 4 miles tempo in it. I was trying to see if I could find that sweet spot that you can find, at least I feel I can find in most shoes, where the shoe just seems to hit the right cadence at certain paces of speeds. I wasn't able to find that yet in this shoe. It is Diadora says it's an everyday shoe, everyday trainer, right? So for tempo speed ones, it certainly is more of a rocker than one that kind of snaps you forward. I actually just posted a review on the Hoka Mach 5. That was the first Hoka shoe I'd ever run in, and I would say though this ride is very similar to the Hoka. So, but it also I like the way it's a nice firm landing. So in summary, here are a few things to consider for this. If you're thinking about this shoe, is one, it runs narrow. However, I would tell you, if this shoe fits your foot, you're going to absolutely love it. The other thing is, it is quite pricey at $195, but I really like the fact that it's made in Italy. I don't mind paying that, based on that fact alone. Again, it's more of a rocker shoe, similar, I would say, to the Hoka type of ride. And also, but it's very solid and comfortable, and I'm looking forward to seeing just how well this thing holds up over 300 miles. So those are my first impressions. While we always like to hear what other people's experiences are, I think it's even more important when you have a brand new shoe such as this one. So if you have any thoughts, if you tried it, please put your comments in the comment section down below, or if you find the video helpful at all, just give it a thumbs up. And so don't forget, I'm going to be back in 300 miles to tell you just how well this shoe held up. Is it worth that high price tag? So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You'll know when we post this shoe review, as well as our other shoe reviews, and we do videos about our state races and training tips. So thanks so much for watching. Go Italy. Keep racing, nation, and ciao.